Hello, my name is Mrs. Fowlkes. I teach 3rd grade at Hennessy School. I've been doing saluting new readers for about 6 years now, and I hope you enjoy my class showing you how well they can read. This is for saluting new readers in my 3rd grade class at Hennessy School.
Hello, my name is Joseph, and I will be reading Satellites and Space Probes. Spacecraft are vehicles that can travel into space. They can be rockets or space shuttles. Some are satellites. Others carry scientific vehicles that carry out space probes. Spacecraft often are sent towards targets such as the moon. Many are sent to orbit the Earth and or other planets. Atmosphere and space. Where the atmosphere ends, space begins. The atmosphere is a layer of gases that surrounds the Earth. It protects Earth from the heat and cold. A part of the atmosphere is the ozone layer. Stops many of the sun's dangerous rays from reaching Earth. The gases in the atmosphere make up air. Near the ground in the troposphere, the air is very dense and easy to breathe. Space begins where there is hardly any air. About 100 miles, 160 kilometers above the ground. Without spacesuits, astronauts could not breathe. What is a satellite? A satellite is an object that orbits or travels around a planet. A planet, the Earth, is a natural satellite of Earth. Artificial satellites are machines that are sent into space by people. They orbit Earth and carry out a variety of jobs. Hundreds of artificial satellites are orbiting Earth right now. The first spacecraft. In 1957, the former Soviet Union launched the first artificial satellite. It was called Sputnik 1. Shown above, it was 23 inches, 58 centimeters across, and weighed 405 pounds, 184 kilograms. Even though Sputnik 1 did little more than make a beeping sound, its launch began the space age. The space age is the name given to the last few decades of our century during which people have been exploring space with spacecrafts. What are space probes? Space probes are robots that carry it out to other parts of the solar system by scientific spacecraft. They send back information about the planets, sun, moon, and even about space itself. They also send back pictures. Almost everything we know about our solar system was discovered by space probes. Thank you for letting me read. Goodbye. I did it.
Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm going to be reading the Hindenburg, the fire crash of a German airship. On May 6, 1937, a giant airship called the Hindenburg floated over the New Jersey countryside. The huge ship, called a Zeppelin, was nearing the end of a 3-day voyage from Germany. The ship had finished crossing the Atlantic Ocean earlier in the day. It had flown over Boston, Massachusetts, and New York City. Passengers and crew members prepared for the airship to land at Lakehurst Naval Air Station in New Jersey. The weather in New Jersey became stormy. During the afternoon, heavy rain fell at the air station. Max Press was the Hindenburg's commander. He decided that the ship should not land until the weather calmed. Early in the evening, the rain slowed to a light drizzle. Press was ready to land. He lowered the Hindenburg to about 650 feet, 200 meters above the ground, and guided it toward the air station. Press showed the ship as it neared the landing spot. He also vented some of the ship's gas. causing the ship to fall closer to the ground. Soon the giant ship was less than 300 feet, 90 meters above the ground. It was 800 feet, 244 meters from the docking mast where it would be tied to the ground. The crew dropped the first mooring rope members of the ground grew below prepared it to tie the rope to the docking mast. At 7:25 in the evening, the Hindenburg was 260 feet, 79 meters above the ground. Suddenly, a small flame burst from the rear of the ship. The hydrogen gas inside the Hindenburg exploded. Within seconds, almost half the ship was burning. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you learned something about the Hindenburg. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chloe, and I'm going to be reading Curious George Goes to the Parade. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today, George and his friend, the man with the yellow hat, were in the city for the big holiday parade. They found a place in the crowd, but an announcement just had been made. The parade might not start for a while, George, the man said. The wind is too strong for the balloons. Let's go in this department store while we wait. George and his friend looked around the store as they waited for the wind to settle down. Suddenly something strange caught George's eye. What could it be? He was curious. But when George looked out the window, he didn't see anything strange. He saw the parade. He saw floats, clowns, and jugglers, and a band standing in straight rows. Then George thought he saw an elephant eating a treat. That made George hungry. It had been a long time since breakfast. Now he could think of only finding a snack. Why, here was just the treat. It was just like what he ate in the jungle, fresh nuts right off the tree. George was lucky to be a monkey. He just simply climbed out the window and jumped into the tree. Then he pulled and pulled, but the nuts would not come off the tree. They were not so fresh after all. In fact, they were not even real, but George did not know that. He pulled harder and harder, then the tree began to sway. Suddenly there was a loud snap, then crash, down came the tree, down came George, and down came all the nuts. I hope you enjoyed my story about Curious George and the parade. My name is Haley, and I'm going to be reading Henry Show and Tell. Henry really liked kindergarten. He liked listening to stories, learning his letters, singing songs, and painting pictures. Henry liked playing games outside and getting great big hugs from his teacher, Miss Bradley. But there was one thing about kindergarten that Henry did not like: show and tell. During show and tell, kids shared facts about their pets, their interesting collections, and what they did on vacation. But whenever Henry tried to share, he felt all shaky. "Why don't you wait until next time to share?" said Miss Bradley. But next time, Henry still felt too shy to speak. Everyone else could share. Tony brought his baseball cards. Vinny told all about his trip to Wisconsin. Even shy little Catherine with a quiet voice told about her snowbird. But Henry still couldn't speak when it was his turn. "Is he going to barf?" asked Tony. That day before recess, Miss Bradley had an idea for Henry. "Bring something that's fun for you to talk about, and practice in the mirror, and you'll do just fine," said Miss Bradley. Henry decided to tell about his lizard, Wallace. He even practiced in front of his little brother, Pete. "I'm ready for show and tell," thought Henry. The next day, when it was Henry's turn, he walked to the front of the class. Just then, just when he was about to share, Wallace escaped. By the time Henry finally caught Wallace, he forgot all about being shy and he told everyone all about lizards. Good job, said Miss Bradley. That was cool, said Tony. The next week, when it was Henry's turn to share, he just stood there. Henry looks sick again, said Tony. Are you nervous? Whispered Miss Bradley. I'm not nervous, said Henry. It's just that I have nothing to share because my pet spider got loose. Recess, said Miss Bradley. Thank you for listening to me read.
Hi, my name is Dominic, and I'm going to be reading Wolves, Family, and Pack. Wolf packs usually have from 5 to 7 members. Some packs, however, have more than 30 wolves. A pack has at least one adult pair and a male and a female. The pack also includes the adult pair's pups. Larger packs may have several wolf families. Each pack has a leader called the alpha wolf. The leader is usually a large adult male. The alpha male's mate is usually the dominant or leading female wolf. Out and about. Wolves live in many places in the northern half of the world. In North America, wolves live in much of Canada, throughout Alaska, and in parts of Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, New Mexico, North Dakota, Minnesota, Michigan, and Wisconsin. The small, rare red wolf now lives only in eastern North Carolina. Wherever they live, wolf packs have an area of their own. This is the wolves' territory. It's the pack's home or neighborhood. Each pack usually stays in its territory. It marks the edges of the territory with the scratch marks on trees with a scent. A wolf pack's territory is a big private hunting club. The pack finds its prey. The animals it hunts is on its own territory. Wolves hunt and kill most big animals like deer, elk, and moose. The pack travels often to find prey. Wolves usually travel 7 to 18 miles, 11 to 29 kilometers in a day. A wolf spends most of its time with other wolves. Wolves travel, kill, eat, nap, play, and howl together. Howling is one of the ways that wolves communicate or pass on information to each other. Howling helps wolves find each other. It also helps one pack let another know where its territory is. And thank you for listening to me read. I hope you learned about wolves.
My name is Drake and I'm going to read a story about frogs living in amphibians. More than 4,000 kinds of frogs live in the world. Frogs can be many colors, including green, blue, orange, or yellow. Frogs have 2 bulging eyes. They have short front legs and long back legs. Frogs use their strong back legs to leap. Frogs are amphibians. They live both on land and in water. Amphibians are cold-blooded animals. Their body temperature is the same as the air or water around them. Frogs breathe air through their lungs. Frogs also take in oxygen through their skin. Most frogs need a wet habitat. Frogs often live near water. Their skin needs to be wet to take in oxygen from the air. Some frogs live in rivers, ponds, or lakes. Other frogs live in hot, humid rainforests. Frogs hunt for food. Some frogs leap to catch food. Other frogs wait to catch food. with their long, sticky tongues. Adult frogs swallow other animals whole. Frogs live have small mouths, eat insects and worms. Frogs that have large mouths eat mice and fish. Thank you for listening to me.
I hope you learned.
About frogs.
My name is Andrew and I'm going to be reading If You Take a Mouse to the Movies. If you take a mouse to the movies, he'll ask you for some popcorn. When you give him the popcorn, he'll want to string it all together. Then he'll want to hang it on a Christmas tree. You'll have to buy him one. On the way home, he'll see a snowman in your neighbor's yard. You want to make one of his own. Then he'll need a carrot for a nose. When he's all finished, he'll decide to build a fort. He'll ask you to help him. Then he'll want to make some snowballs and have a snowball fight. Playing outside will make him cold. He'll want to go inside and curl up on the couch. He'll ask you for a blanket. Once he's nice and cozy, he'll want to listen to Christmas carols. You'll have to find some on the radio. He'll probably sing along. The carols will remind him of his Christmas tree, so he'll want to make ornaments. You'll get him some paper and glue. He'll ask you for glitter. When the ornaments are done, he'll hang them all up. Then he'll stand back to look at the tree. He'll notice his popcorn string is missing, so he'll want to make another one. He'll ask you for some popcorn, and chances are, when you give him the popcorn, he'll want you to take him to the movies. Thank you for listening to me read. And don't take a mouse to the movies.
My name is Destiny. I'm going to read Mama Don't Allow. Miles got a saxophone for his birthday. Oh, how nice. Wow. Squawk. Oh, how awful. Keep it down, son. Miles practiced and practiced until his mama and papa couldn't stand it anymore. And his mama said, "Why don't you practice outside, dear?" Beep. And so he did, as loud as he could. Ugh, enough. What a racket. Unbearable. Terrible. Yuck. Harmful. Dreadful. Miles strolled down Main Street where he met a drummer named Al. Up Swamp Lane where he met a guitarist named Bert. And over Bayou Bridge where he met a trumpet player named Doc. "Hey, let's play some music," said Miles. "Loud music," said Al. "Let's be a band," said Bert. "The Swamp Band," cried Doc. And they played as loud as they could. Soon the whole town crowded up. "Swamp Band's playing the swamp." But down in the swamp, at the edge of town, the sharp-toothed, long-tailed, yellow-eyed alligator said, "We like that music, Swamp Band. We like it loud." "Really? You do? Come and play for the alligator ball." "When?" "Saturday night after the sun goes down. Meet you at the riverboat." "We'll be there." Saturday night, when the sun went down, the alligators came for miles around. They were dressed in their finest. The Swamp Band played their favorite song, "Mama Don't Allow No Music Playing Around Here." Mama don't allow no music playing around here.
Thank you for listening to me read Mama Don't Wow.
And does your mama?
Does your mama wow? My name's Alyssa and I'm going to be reading Where Does Joe Go? Every year when winter is over and spring is finally here, Joe comes back to town. Throughout the summer, crowds gather at Joe's to eat hot dogs, creamers, and fries. But after fall arrives, Joe disappears again, and all winter long everybody wonders, where does Joe go? He's gone to the moons, cried Tiny June. Or maybe the beach, said old Mr. Leach. I think he's on a cruise, said a woman buying shoes. He's having tea with the Queen, whispered Molly McQueen. He's digging for bones, said Oliver Jones. In Ufaki, screamed Bob Wilkie. He's in the city, cried Kitty. He's dancing a tango, said Mrs. Flamingo. He's off to the pyramids, yelled all Billy's kids. He's on a safari, said Charlie McLaurin. Then spring comes again. All the children call out, Joe, where have you been? But Joe won't tell us all. Thank you for listening to me read Where Does Joe Go? Hi, my name is Kara, and I'm going to be reading Captain Underpants and the Wrath of the Wicked Wedgie Woman. Chapter 16, Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Beehive? The struggle that followed may someday be remembered as the single most unlucky thing that would ever happened in the history of the world. First, George pulled his arm out of Wedgie Woman's grasp. Then Harold squirmed away, too. When Wedgie Woman lunged after them, George crouched down into a ball behind Wedgie Woman's feet. All it took was a simple nudge from Harold to send the furious female toppling back over backwards. Right into the wall. Clunk! The bookshelf, which above Wedgie Woman's head, shook violently, causing a strange-looking juice carton to topple over. Suddenly, a stream of glowing green juice poured out of the carton, directly into the tightly woven beehive of hair atop of Wedgie Woman's head. No! Yelled Harold as he grabbed the juice carton. This is the juice we got from the spaceship back in our third book. You mean the one with the annoying long title? Asked George. Yeah, said Harold. This is the extra strength superpower juice, and a whole bunch of it got on her hair. Don't worry, said George. None of it got into her mouth. That's the worst thing that could happen. Her hairstyle will now have superpowers. Well, said Harold, I guess we're right. You're right. That is pretty stupid, even for one of our stories. It's pretty funny, though, said George. Thank you for listening to me. And if you want to find out what happens at the end, go to your local library. And I love Captain Underpants so much.
Hello, my name is Sean, and I'm reading the book called How Do Dinosaurs Say Goodnight? How does a dinosaur say goodnight when Papa comes in to turn off the light? Does he Does a dinosaur slam his tail on and pout? Does he throw his teddy bear all about? Does a dinosaur stomp his feet and on the floor and shout, I want to hear one book more? Does a dinosaur roar? How does a dinosaur say goodnight when Mama comes in to turn off the light? Does he swing his neck from side to side? Does he up undermine a piggyback ride? Does he moan? Does he mope? Does he moan? Does he sulk? Does he sigh? Does he fall on the top of his covers and cry? No, dinosaurs don't. They don't even try. They give a big kiss. They turn off the light. They tuck in their tail. They whisper goodnight. They give a big hug. Then give one kiss more. Good night, little dinosaur. Thank you for listening to me read.
And dinosaurs are hard.
Dinosaurs are hard to put to sleep.
My name is Kyle, and I'm going to read Butterfly Colors. Butterfly wings have many scales. Each scale is one color. The scales make butterflies' wings colorful. Butterfly wings can be one color. Butterfly wings can have patterns. The pattern can be spots. The patterns can be stripes. The butterfly has two wings on each side of its body. The two sides match. Thank you for listening to me read. I think butterflies are beautiful.
Nice going, Kyle. Nice going.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm going to be reading When Giants Come to Town. The Twin Giants. Once there were twin giants named Samson and Rex. They were hiking one fine day, and somehow they ended up on the wrong side of the mountains, near a small town. We should have turned right at the waterfall, said Samson. You're wrong, said Rex. We should have turned left. And now it's late, and I'm thirsty. He took a drink from his canteen. Not me, said Samson. I'm hungry. And I know for a fact you ate the last two cookies. Rex poked through his backpack. Here are some sunflower seeds left, he offered. Humph, said Samson. Bird food. Suddenly he spied a field of ripe lemons the townspeople had planted. What look, said Samson. Wild grapes. He scooped them up by the handful. He popped them into his giant mouth. In a short time, the field was empty. What a mess you've made, said Rex. Maybe if I plant something, the ground won't look so bare and ugly. First, he used a giant cob to make neat rows in the field. Then he got out the sunflower seeds and planted them in the rows. Then he watered them with his canteen. Now can we leave, said Samson. Oh, all right, said Rex. Let's take the high road home. No, said Samson, the low road. And they wandered off, still arguing. What a disaster for the townspeople. They had planned to sell those melons to help raise money for a new town hall. Now they would have to wait a whole year to grow another crop. Thank you for listening to me read When Giants Come to Town. Don't let giants come into your town.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and I'm going to be reading Scooby-Doo and the Witch Doctor. Read, Scooby, jump, cried, jumped into Shaggy's arms. What is that? Asked Daphne. It sounds like it's coming from the greaser field. Hearn said, follow me. Chapter 5. The gang followed Hearn to the clearing dotted with the small craters, and they heard the scream again and spun around. The burst of the steam water and mud shot out of one of the craters and up into the air. Jeepers, Daphne said. Look at that, said. It's a greaser. Hearn said, this side of the mountain is covered with them. What's them? That's why the volcano hasn't erupted. It's such a long time. All the pressure that builds up inside it's released through the greasers. So what made the screaming noise? Velma said facetiously. Ooh, Shaggy said, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm glad it wasn't one of those tiki things. Those tikis are just statues, Shaggy, Velma said, and statues can't scream or run around or chase you off the mountain, but the witch doctor can. Shaggy cried. He pointed to a figure standing at the far end of the greaser field. It wore a long robe and a freaky mask with slits for the eyes and mouth. Thank you for listening to me read. I hope you don't get chased by the witch doctor.
My name is Justin, and I'll be reading Francis the Scaredy Cat. This is Francis. Francis likes to read stories. He loves bubble baths and hunting carrots. Best of all, Francis loves Ben. With his kind hands and voice as familiar as pillows and pajamas. But Francis is a happy cat, but he has a secret even from Ben. Francis is a scaredy cat. Francis is afraid of the dark, and most of all, he is afraid of the whispering, hissing monster he hears in the tree in the garden on stormy nights. One evening, Ben was late coming home, and Francis was all alone. The wind got louder and the storm got wilder. The night grew darker and darker. It became so dark that Francis wasn't sure if his eyes were opened or closed. The tree whooshed and crashed outside in the garden. Francis heard the whispering monster hissing. Suddenly, Francis had a terrible thought. What if the monster had captured Ben? Francis knew what to do. Knew what he had to do. He peeped outside at the dark night. He crept into the garden. He climbed the big tree to rescue his friend. He was shaking from the tip to his wet nose to the end of his fluffy tail. It was almost ready. Thank you for me listening. Thank you for listening to me read this. Do you have a scaredy cat?
What do you love?
Reading!
And where do you go to school?
Hennessy!
And what grade are you in?
Third!
And what do you love?
Reading!